Good morning and welcome to Backyard and Beyond. This morning, we're a little bit beyond. We're going up to Elkhorn to visit with Janelle Hanson. Good morning to you, Janelle.
Good morning, LaVon.
Well, big weekend coming up in Elkhorn.
Yes, it is.
I understand it's the 32nd, I believe, the festival there. Yule Fest is the appropriate word.
Yes.
Yes, so lots of people have been working for a long time to put this together. So many volunteers and so many hard workers to do this. Well, we want to zero in first on the Yule Fest concert, which is on Saturday. So where is that? What time is that, Janelle?
The Yule Fest concert is going to be Saturday night, November 27th at 7 p.m. It'll be at the Elkhorn Lutheran Church.
Okay. And you know, we need to, there may be a few people listening who don't know where Elkhorn is. I can't really believe that. So why don't you tell us how to find Elkhorn and then how to find the Lutheran Church?
Okay, that's easy. Elkhorn is 7 miles north of the interstate, and it's directly north of Atlantic, about 15 miles.
Okay.
So.
And then when we get to Elkhorn, we need to find the church?
Yes, you just go straight north. It's on Main Street, on the north end of Main Street.
That old saying, you can't hardly miss it.
You can't miss it. If you think you can miss it, you haven't been to Elkhorn.
Yeah. Big church on the east side of the road.
Yes, it is.
Okay, very good. I bet you'll see cars there. It's right there, so you can see it easily.
A big event.
Now, although the festival, Yule Fest, has been going on for over 30 years, the concert's not quite that old.
No, it isn't. And I don't know the exact number of years, but it's going on probably 10 years approximately. We've had the concert at different dates over the course of several years, but we kind of landed on Yule Fest several years ago, and it works out well because we have a lot of people in town, and we get to celebrate Christmas with bringing in some great music from different people.
Mm-hmm. And I think for a lot of us traditional people, we do like to wait until right after Thanksgiving to start the Christmas music, and so this is perfect.
That's right. It ushers in the season for sure. We have several people coming this year that will be doing vocal solos. Pastor Keith Mentor, the pastor of our Lutheran Church, if people are familiar with him, they know that it's a real treat to hear him sing. And we have Dottie Knudsen coming. She's a resident of Elkhorn. And several high school kids that are singing, doing violin solos. We have a clarinet quartet coming, a clarinet solo, and some work on the piano.
Piano. That rings a bell with me. You've been a pianist for quite a long time, Janelle.
Yes, I have. I have.
We may want to talk about that a little more.
Sure.
So, what kind of? Obviously, there's some Christmas music. Is there other kinds of music going on too?
Most of the music is going to be Christmas music.
Okay.
But one thing I would like to talk about a little bit is our pipe organ.
All right.
The proceeds for the concert, we'll just have a free will offering at this concert. It's a free concert, but if you feel like donating something to our organ, that's what the proceeds are going to be going to. We've had a pipe organ at Elkhorn Lutheran Church for a number of years. The current pipe organ was purchased in 1974 as a used organ and is really in bad shape and in need of some repairs. So we've set up an organ rebuild fund, and we've been working on this for quite a while, and it's getting pretty close. So we're getting another used organ from Darrow Organ Company, and they're going to start working on that sometime after the first of the year.
Do you play the organ?
I do play the organ.
So that means, we've got a sort of an expert here telling us that the pipe organ that's there really does need some help.
Yes, it does. It does. And a lot of churches are taking pipe organs out, and they're going with electronic organs, and that's fine, but we really believe in the rich heritage of the pipe organ and what it really means to a congregation our size. It's really a beautiful instrument, and it's used for weddings and funerals and special music and hymn sings, and it just fills the church, and it's just much better than an electronic organ. And I'll be giving a little demo during the concert on our organ just to talk a little bit about the project and about pipe organs in general. So there'll be a little educational tidbit there for you.
Well, most of us don't know anything about pipe organs, and there could be a couple people who say, well, we don't really need to replace that, let's do something different. So that education is so important.
It is.
Yes,
it is.
And
Yeah, because we really believe that the music at our church is a ministry to others, and so we want to keep that going. We several years ago invested in a beautiful grand piano, and that piano has just been played and played and played, and everybody has really enjoyed having it there.
do you think keeping those instruments up to date helps to bring the youth along in terms of keeping them sort of excited about the importance of music in church?
Yes, absolutely. You've hit on the biggest thing. We have been so fortunate to have several youth in our congregation and in the community around that we do special music every Sunday in our church. So these kids get to sing or play their violin or piano or instrument or whatever on a regular basis, and the congregation is very supportive. And if they do play piano, they get to play on a fantastic instrument, which really brings up the level of knowledge and instrument playing and expertise, and just gives them kind of that avenue that they maybe don't get at home.
Long ago, Janelle, I took piano lessons. That's a long story. It was not very successful, but I do remember my teacher having a baby grand, and when we got to a certain point in lessons or when there was something special, then we got to play on the baby grand. Otherwise,
Sure.
it was the old upright.
Sure.
Yeah, so it was special.
It really does make a difference. Having a good instrument makes a big difference in a student's ability to really pick some things up.
Now, you mentioned that you have some violin soloists. That
Yes.
used to be sort of unheard of, but not so much anymore.
Yes, and they happen to be my children this year. My son is in 8th grade, and he'll be doing a violin solo. And my daughter, who's 16, also plays the violin. And they take lessons from Pat McCauley in Atlantic, who's a fantastic violinist.
What better recommendation could we make? Since your children are performing, I'm assuming that they're enjoying the violin.
They do enjoy it.
That's sort of I think a maybe more difficult thing to pick up than some other instruments.
It's very difficult. When they started learning, I thought, well, I would just learn along with them because I could play the piano, right? Well, it didn't work out so well for me, so they passed me awfully early in the process.
You're kind of like me in my piano lessons.
Yeah,
maybe. Maybe. One of the things we should also mention after the concert, it's sort of important after the concert what happens too.
Right. We have a lunch served after the concert because we think it's so important to feed people up here in Elkhorn, right? And then we do some dancing around the tree. So it's kind of a Danish tradition that we dance around the Christmas tree and sing Christmas carols, and that's been a real favorite of many people.
And if there's visitors to the community, I'm thinking that maybe you sort of once in a lifetime, they haven't done that before. So what a great opportunity to join in that Danish custom.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, mentioning Danish customs, one of the things that is important, you mentioned about the food that you're going to serve afterwards, but the town is filled with all kinds of great food and especially Danish food. Do you have a favorite?
I certainly love Ebelskiver. Yes.
I one time sat next to a man who wasn't familiar with those, and he said, those little round pancakes. And I said, well, if you're going to be in the community, you better learn what those really are called.
That's right.
Yes.
We do a big Ebelskiver feed at Tivoli Fest, as you know. So we've tried to teach a lot of people how to make it. We use a lot of volunteers. It's so much fun.
Yes. And mentioning volunteers, I'm assuming that, Janelle, you've been one of the people who've really helped put this concert together. Are there some other folks that, in addition to the performers, that have sort of volunteered to help put all this together?
There's a couple people. Our church pastor, as I mentioned, Pastor Menor has been very helpful, and our church secretary. But we also have a worship committee at Elkhorn Lutheran, and they've been instrumental in working. They'll be serving the lunch and sort of putting it together. And also we have an organ committee. So the organ committee has been really active in working on this project.
Great.
So, Nancy Watson is involved, Howard Sorensen, Calla Polberg, and Tim Fredrickson. Those individuals are all on the organ committee and would be happy to talk to anybody about that project.
Okay. If you have more questions, there's some folks to ask. Remind us, Janelle, the concert time and place.
7 p.m. Saturday night, this Saturday night, at Elkhorn Lutheran Church. We hope to see everybody there.
Okay, get your holiday season kicked off with some great music.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much, Janelle Henson, for visiting with us.
Thanks, LaVon. It was nice to be with you.
Till next time, here's a thought. No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks.